Bandhugale, students, the Honorable Union Minister of State, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar is here. I would request Shri Pradeep to kindly bring in the Honorable Minister on stage, please. I would also request Mr. K.G. Chandrasekhar, Principal of SK SJTI, H.N. Ramesh, Principal and Interim Director, UVC, Shrikant, Joint Director, Department of Technical Education, to be on the stage. Well, students, whenever a professor or a lecturer or a dean starts speaking, the best thing what anybody expects is your silence. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ರೆ, let's make some noise with a huge round of applause and say all of you will be silent after that. Okay. Silence only when the dignitaries on the dais will be speaking, but when there is a good question, good answer, there is no restriction for that. But kindly do not converse amongst yourself. Madhya matadbedi. Adrinda dayaviಟ್ಟು, it all depends on you. As you're all aware, through social media, the whole world will know what's going to happen, what's happening here. So it all depends on your support and cooperation. Thank you for that. The future of India, as we all know, lies in the hands of the youth. New India for young India. A decade of opportunities. Well, boys and girls, please note, the Honorable Minister, in the last 18 months, has traveled to more than 40-45 institutions all over the country to see the pulse of the youth. That indeed is a great thing. And the first-hand information is got from you, and thereafter the policies become so. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I'm Shankar Prakash, extending a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Tamagellarigu ಆದರದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ, ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸತ್ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯದಂತೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಡಗೀತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. I would request all of you to kindly rise for ನಾಡಗೀತೆ. Maharani Cluster University artists are here. I would request them to kindly present ನಾಡಗೀತೆ.
जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते, जय हे कर्नाटक माते, जय सुंदर नदी वनಗಳ ನಾಡೆ, जय हे रस ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ. ಭೂದೇವಿಯ ಮಕುಟದ ನವಮಣಿಯೇ, ಗಂಧದ ಚಂದದ ಹೊನ್ನಿನ ಗಣಿಯೇ, ರಾಘವ ಮಧುಸೂದನರವತರಿಸಿದ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇದದ ಘೋಷ, ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವವು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ. ಹಸುರಿನ ಗಿರಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ, ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ. ಕಪಿಲ ಪತಂಜಲ ಗೌತಮ ಜಿನನುತ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಶಂಕರ ರಮನುಜ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ಮಧ್ವರ ದಿವ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ. ಷಡಕ್ಷರಿ ಪುನ್ನ ಪಂಪಲ ಕುಮಿಪತಿ ಚನ್ನ. ಕುಮಾರ ವ್ಯಾಸರ ಮಂಗಳಧಾಮ, ಕವಿ ಕೋಗಿಲೆಗಳ ಪುಣ್ಯಾರಾಮ. ನಾನಕ ರಾಮಾನಂದ ಕಬೀರರ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಸೈನಪ ಹೊಯ್ಸಳರಾಳಿದ ನಾಡೆ, ಲಂಕಣ ಜಕಣರ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಬೀಡೆ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಶರಾವತಿ ತುಂಗ, ಕಾವೇರಿಯವರ ರಂಗ. ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ವಿವೇಕರ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಸರ್ವ ಜನಾಂಗದ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ತೋಟ, ರಸಿಕರ ಕಂಗಳ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ನೋಟ. ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ, ಪಾರಸಿಕ ಜೈನರು ಉದ್ಯಾನ. ಜನಕನ ಹೋಲುವ ದೊರೆಗಳ ಧಾಮ, ಗಾಯಕ ವೈಣಿಕರಾರಾಮ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವ ಗೇಹ, ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ. ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ, ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಸಚಿವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಪಾರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಯುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಗೆ at the outset I would request the Commissioner of Directorate of Collegiate and Technical Education, Shri Pradeep, for the opening remarks and welcome address. ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಅವರನ್ನು.
ಇಂದು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಮಹತ್ವಪೂರ್ಣ ಹಾಗೂ ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಔದ್ಯೋಗಿಕ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಹೊಸತನ ಹಾಗೂ ಉದ್ಯಮಶೀಲತೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅರಿವು ಮೂಡಿಸುವ ಮಹತ್ವಾಕಾಂಕ್ಷಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವಾದ ನ್ಯೂ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ ಯಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸಂವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ರೂವಾರಿಯಾಗಿರುವ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಯನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಿರುವ ಭಾರತ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಾಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯೋದ್ಯಮ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಚಿವರಾದ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಹಾಜರಿರುವ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ವರ್ಗದವರಿಗೆ SKSDA ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ, UVC ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಸ್ವಾಯತ್ತ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲಿಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಗಳ ಬೋಧಕ ವರ್ಗದವರಿಗೆ ಇಂದಿನ ಸಂವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಬಹುಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇಂದಿನ ಸಂವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬಿಂದುಗಳಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಭವಿಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಉದ್ಯಮಶೀಲತೆಗೆ ಕಾರಣೀಭೂತರಾಗುವ ಉತ್ಸಾಹಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಸಂವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಜರಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಸರ್, ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾನ್ಯ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ, ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲೈವ್ಲಿಹುಡ್ ITBT ST ಸಚಿವರಾದ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರ ನಾಯಕತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ, ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಟು ನೇಮ್ ಎ ಫ್ಯೂ, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020 ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯನ್ನು ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೊದಲನೇ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. ಇದರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್, ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ನೀಡಿದಂಥ ಮೊದಲ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ, ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್, ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನಾರಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮೊ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸರ್, ತಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ 3 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ 60% ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲಿಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರ ಒಂದು ಆಸೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಅಪೇಕ್ಷೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ನ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಡ್ರಿವನ್ ಇರಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ರಿವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಯಿತು. 3ನೇ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಪಾತ್ವೇಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. 45 ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಪಾತ್ವೇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಫಲಶ್ರುತಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ 99% ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಲಿಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಲವಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ 100% ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 100% ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸರ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ AICTE ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲೇ ಮೊದಲ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಟ್ವಿನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಟ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮೊ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ SJP ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಕೋರ್ಸು, ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೂರಿಸಮ್, 2 ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೈಡ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಥೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ US ಫಾರ್ ಟ್ವಿನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸರ್. ಇದರದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಏನಂತಂದರೆ, ಮೊದಲನೇ ವರ್ಷ ಅವ್ರು SJPನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ವರ್ಷ 2 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. 2ನೇ ವರ್ಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಥೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. 3ನೇ ವರ್ಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳು USಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲಿತಾರೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ 1 ವರ್ಷ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓದುವಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸರ್, 3 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಅಂದರೆ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ ನಂತರ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ ಓದುವಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ 1/3 ಫೀಸು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಮೊದಲ 3 ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಸರ್, ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರಯ್ಯ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್, ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರಯ್ಯನವರು ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ UVC ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರ್, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಎಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಎಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ UVC ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇವತ್ತು. ಕಳೆದ ವರ್ಷ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ದರ್ಜೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಎಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ NEP ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನಾರಿಟಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ದು ರಿವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕಳೆದ ಹಲವಾರು ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ರಿವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ರಿವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಿನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮ 400 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳ ಪೈಕಿ 307 ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಿಗೆ NAC ಅಕ್ರಿಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿ NAC ಅಕ್ರಿಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ B and above ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು, A and A+ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 23 ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ಗೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಉಪಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಶಕ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋದರೂ ಕರೆದು ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಸಂವಾದ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಿ ಆಗಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಹಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಕುರಿತು ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರೀತಿಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಐ ವುಡ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಟು ಕೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ಗಿವ್ ಎ ಬೊಕೆ ಟು ದಿ ಆನರಬಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಂದು ಬೊಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದ್ರ ಮುಖೇನ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. Thank you, sir. And I would request Mr. Shrikant to kindly present a book to Shri Pradeep on behalf of the entire team. It's my pleasure to request the Honorable Minister Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar and the dignitaries to kindly move to the left-hand side of the stage and light the lamp to signal the beginning of a new era. Today is New India for Young India. Nava Bharatakagi ಯುವ ಭಾರತದ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಬಿಂಬಿಸುವಂತಹ ಈ ಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆಯನ್ನ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. The light will go a long way towards leading us to the path of happiness, knowledge, and of course this knowledge will go a long way towards enlightening the entire youth of the nation. ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಅವರು ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Indeed, a very, very first of its kind program here, New India for Young India, the TECHADE of opportunities. Thank you, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the vision and mission of Digital India by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is being realized by the tireless work being undertaken by the Honorable Minister Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar. Before he starts his speech, sit back for a couple of minutes and let's watch the introductory video which gives us more details about the Honorable Minister. Let's have the video, please.
I think the power of the individual is what shapes the power of a nation.
He's not just a politician, but also an innovator, a senior design engineer, an Intel CPU architect on the 80486 and Pentium microprocessors, an entrepreneur who founded BPL Mobile in 1994 and Jupiter Capital in 2005, a poster boy of India's telecom revolution, who's been at the forefront of developing India's telecom sector, an avid aviator who traveled the world with India in his heart, an ambassador of culture who proudly presents himself in traditional formal Veshti, a philanthropist who founded the Namma Bengaluru Foundation, which means striving to make Bengaluru a better city. He comes from Fauji family. His father, Air Commodore M.K. Chandrasekhar, was an air warrior. That's why he cares so much for the armed forces personnel.
Obviously I'm a son of a veteran. My father was in the Air Force, and I've grown up all my life around veterans and people who served in the armed forces. Priya, I have been involved in one rank, one pension as a concept and as issue for about 9 years.
He's a votary of free speech and governance.
In a nomadic Air Force, Indian Air Force kid living all over India. I've been an average student most of my life. I became a full-blown nerd, churning out code. I used to program like there was no tomorrow. Then an entrepreneur, then an investor, and now a politician. Be inspired not just by names or big achievements or the headlines, but by actions, beliefs, and ideals.
He speaks Malayalam, Kannada, English, and Hindi, and touches millions of hearts through his words and actions. He's a politician of New India who believes in delivering.
Every village, every district headquarters, everybody will be connected on the internet. And that is the surest way of reducing the gap between a government and a citizen.
Let's welcome a politician who has achieved and delivers. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, Union Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship.
Commissioner, Department of College and Technical Education, Shri P. Pradeep Aure, UVC Principal, Professor H.N. Ramesh Aure, Joint Director, Department of Technical Education, Shrikant Aure, Principal of SGSTI, Shri Dr. Chandrasekhar Aure, ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Good morning. Today is a very appropriate day for this Samvada. Indu Appu Puneet Rajkumar avardu Jayanti. Our government has called today Spurti Dina, the day of inspiration. So I hope this few minutes that I will spend with you will inspire you and inspire you to pursue a better future for yourselves and build this vision of New India on the energy, on your perseverance and your determination. Today's presentation title is New India for Young India, Decade of Opportunities. Digital India ಮತ್ತು Skill India, these two important pillars, I will share with you my belief and our Prime Minister's belief that these two pillars will transform your lives. And because they will transform your lives, they will transform the future of our great nation into Nava Bharata, New India. My background is very similar to yours. Nanu, about some years ago, I will not tell you exactly how many years because then you will say, this fellow is very old. Adbidi. Some years ago, I was a student like you, sitting in an auditorium listening to chief guests talk about the future, talk about various things. But I want to share with you that I consider your generation of students, and the Prime Minister of India considers your generation of students the luckiest generation in independent India's history. And I will explain to you why you are the luckiest generation. Just like you, I also have followed a train. I was also an engineering student at one point. I was also a son of a middle class family but this great nation has allowed me to pursue many opportunities, and I will present to you that for your generation, our country, our government is creating opportunities unprecedented in the past, unprecedented in the history of independent India. This is my background. I will not dwell too much on it. But this I want to say, in 2006, after many years of being an engineer, being a CPU architect, being an entrepreneur, I was given an opportunity to serve in public life. 17 years I thought. I have been a member of parliament representing our great state of Karnataka. And I have tried to do my best for our city, Namma Uru Bangalore. And that work continues. But today I am here because of this. 7th July 2021, our Prime Minister gave me this opportunity and gave me two responsibilities. One is electronics and information technology, and the second is on skill development and entrepreneurship. ಈ ಎರಡು ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ the common stakeholder, the common thread is the young Indian. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ both these ministries deal with the future of our young citizens, future of young Indians, and it is an absolute privilege and pleasure that I have today to be able to contribute to your future. This is a statement I am making. 75 years of India as an independent nation, 2022-2023, we are at the most exciting period in the history of modern India. That is why I say you are the luckiest generation of students that the history of India has ever seen. Why are we at this inflection point? What is so great about today? What is different about today compared to before? What is this new India? As they said in the introduction, this is my 44th visit to a dialogue with students. I have met students in Jammu and Kashmir, in Kohima, Nagaland, in Gujarat, Kerala, all over the country, Karnataka. And when I say we are in this exciting new India, one question is asked, ಏನದು new India? What is this Nava India? What is the difference between new India, old India? All of you are very young, and it is expected that you don't remember too much about old India. Yakendre you are all students, you are children of new India. But if you ask your parents, if you ask your grandparents, the end of the old India, what was typical about old India? I will give you 3 examples of what old India is and how we have changed in new India. For 65 years, there was one narrative about India. Tumba chanagide, very good democracy, people are very good, lot of people are there, population jasti there. But, tumba potential is there, but. What is the but? That it was a dysfunctional democracy and governance was dysfunctional. And one example was used to describe governance in India. For many years, this was the example, including one famous quote by a prime minister in late 1980s, that when 100 rupees leaves Delhi for the benefit of a citizen, only 15 rupees reaches the citizen. The cost of democracy was 85%. Corruption, leakage, mediation, intermediation. The poor and the distant felt disconnected from government because of this cost. This was a narrative for many, many decades. And because of this narrative, for several years, a country in the north of India called China put out one propaganda. The propaganda? That in Asia, for large countries, democracies will never work. Democracies will never deliver benefits and progress and prosperity to our citizens. Only communism, only authoritarianism, only dictatorship will work. This was a theory. In 90s, late 80s, this was the theory that democracies will never work. What is happening in New India? After Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji came, he used technology, he used innovation, and today when 100 rupees leaves Delhi, 100 rupees reaches the beneficiary's account, no delay, no leakage, instantaneously, instant response. This is the difference between New India and Old India. The Old India narrative was democracies could never function and deliver, and the New India narrative is democratic governance can deliver, will deliver, and will continue to deliver. Second example I will share with you. Old India, whatever opportunities came, they were captured by a few families, few people with connections, the political connection, financial connection. Idu ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು stark example was in 2011 in Parliament. I introduced a document, a statistic. 97% of Indian banking system's net worth, esto 97%, had been borrowed by only 10 groups in India. So even if there was a young Indian who had an idea, who had an enterprise, who wanted to work hard, there was no money. So opportunities were always captured by the same, and the divide between those who have and those who don't have were wider and wider. What is the difference now in 2023, 2022, 2021, all the way from 2014? 80,000 startups have been created by young Indians, no famous last names, no connection, no political connection. Through their effort, through their enterprise, they have created companies, they have created success stories. $110 billion unicorns have been created. No connection illa, no political godfather, no financial godfather. So in India today, opportunity is available to every Indian. This is New India. Third example of difference, contrast between Old India and New India. I am sharing this because you should understand why you are the luckiest generation. In Old India, there was always this narrative, oh, it is a poor country. There is no modern infrastructure possible. Our armed forces could not get equipment. Bulletproof jackets they cannot get, guns they cannot get. So if China attacks, we just surrender and do Shashtang. If Pakistan does terror attack, we go crying to USA. We are a poor country, we can never have world-class cities, we can never have world-class infrastructure. This was the narrative. That we were condemned to our destiny of poverty and poorness. And excepting during election, nobody will discuss the poor, nobody will discuss this situation. What is the situation in 2022? We are the 5th largest economy in the world. We are spending the highest amount of money as a nation on infrastructure building compared to any country in the world. 10 lakh crores government of India is spending. We have had money to invest in our armed forces, and today if somebody shows eyes to India, they should be very, very worried about what India's reaction is, and they are worried about India's reaction. In the past, tax collections in the government means target is set here, actuals would be here. In this new India, every year tax collection is exceeding targets by 25%, 30%. We are not a poor country. We were never a poor country. Our leaders kept us poor. And today we are a country where hundreds and thousands of you are creating economic opportunity for yourself and making our country wealthier, stronger. We are number 5 today. In 3 years' time, we will be number 3 as our economic power. And with all our efforts over the next decade, we can be in the top 2. Idella, I'm showing you some slides about old India. Old India was characterized by this: corruption, leaky. This is new India. I just explained to you from corruption-free governance. I'll give you one example. I want to share with you because you are young students. Recently, I went to a remote district of Nagaland. I had to travel 9.5 hours by road to reach there. I was the first minister to reach there almost after independence. But in the morning meeting with the community members, I said, Eshtu jana Aadhaar ide? How many people have Aadhaar? All of them raised their hand. How many people are getting money from Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Yojana directly on your phones? Everybody raised their hand. So in the past, the distance created lack of trust between government and citizen, and today that distance has been bridged through technology and determination of governance by our government and Prime Minister. Just to again share with you a little example about COVID. You will all accept, you will all agree that COVID, you are all giving exams regularly. You know the concept of exams. You know the concept of report cards. How many of you like exams? Raise your hand. Only one person. Good. This is a universal feeling. Nobody likes exams. But in 2020, January and February, the whole world, every country, every citizen of every country was given a big challenge. It is called COVID-19. Every country, every government had to deal with this unknown disease. Livelihoods were disrupted, economies were destroyed, and nobody knew how to deal with this, excepting maybe China, but even they did a bad job of it. 2 years after that examination started, if you do a report card of all the countries in the world and you say who has done well in that exam, who has done bad in the exam, let us do an analysis. Let us go to the US. Post-COVID, they have still not vaccinated their population. They have inflation is at a historic high. 40 years they have never had this kind of inflation. You are reading about their banks collapsing. That is US. Go to UK, another advanced economy. Historically high inflation. The pound, which used to be like a gold, has devalued significantly. Their economy is in a mess. Look at this great, so-called great power of China. 5th lockdown, 6th lockdown, and only now they are coming out of lockdown. Their economy has been hit. Now come to our country, our great nation. What is our report card? 210 crore vaccinations delivered, vaccinations made in India, no imported vaccines. No repeated lockdowns after the 3rd lockdown. Fastest growing economy in the world. Highest FDI in the world. 3rd fastest growing innovation ecosystem in the world. And we have come out of COVID. People are looking at us with great awe and respect. As I said, fastest growing big economy, India's health response, how without any social disorder, 210 crore vaccines were delivered to our citizens, and those vaccinations were made in India. This is India today, fifth largest economy in the world post-COVID. 81% more FDI than previous years, and the highest FDI amongst any country in the world. I talked about startups, 91,300 startups, the land of unicorns. All of you use Insta, you use Netflix, you use the internet all the time. I don't know if you are aware, we are the largest connected nation in the world, 850 million Indians, 85 crore Indians use the internet. We are the largest connected nation in the world today, in the global internet. And I want to share one more thing with you. Again, you are a generation of mobile phones. In 2014, 85%, 82 to 85% of all mobile phones used in India were imported. In 2023, you take a guess, how much is imported? Somebody tell me. 0%. 100% of the mobile phones used in India today made in India. In 2014, our export of mobile phones was 0. And today, made in India Apple phones, made in India Samsung phones are being exported all around the world. And this year, that is 23, the total exports alone will be 1 lakh crores of mobile phone exports. So we are becoming a trusted partner. Post-COVID, India is becoming a trusted partner for the world for all things digital. Digital manufacturing, digital solutions, digital platforms. And you can see, for example, in electronics alone, Karnataka recently, we have seen an announcement that a 300-acre big complex is going to come up to manufacture Apple products. They are going to manufacture iPhones, and just 2 days ago they have announced that they will also manufacture AirPods from India. So what used to be, before COVID, electronics was controlled by China. Our Prime Minister's vision is that by 25-26, in our country, we will do 24 lakh crores of electronics manufacturing, which will mean more than 10 lakh jobs between 22-23 to 26-27 that will be created in electronics alone. Now, for those of you who do mathematics and statistics, I will give you a good number for you to understand. In 2014, the total electronics production was 1 lakh crore. And in 2025, that is 10 years later, the number is 24 lakh crores. How many times is it? 24 times. 2,400% growth in 1 decade. You have heard about INS Vikrant, so many of you will think, oh, it's one more ship, one more Navy ship. No, for students, especially engineering students, this is a very important project. First of all, only 4 or 5 countries in the world can build a vessel of this size. It combines mega engineering capabilities on one hand and microelectronics and sensors and high tech on the other hand. Every system on this ship has been designed in India and made in India. This is the most sophisticated warship, one of the most sophisticated warships in Asia, and apart from the engineering and the construction of this platform, The technology, the deep tech that is inside the platform is also engineered and designed in India. So let me talk about a little bit about the future, about what the rest of the world thinks about India. Oh, sorry. Sorry, there's a code that's not working. Anybody who's... Anyway, there is a audio clip embedded in the slide, but just two quotes, one a High Commissioner of
Must be
Australia.
fully used.
Yeah. Play it.
Many vaccines are being produced in countries around the world, but there's only one country that has the manufacturing capacity to produce sufficient quantities to satisfy the demand of citizens in every country, and that's India.
The production capacity of India is one of the best assets the world has today, and I hope the world understands that it must be fully used.
The production capacity of India is one of the best assets of the world today. This is not in Indian, this is the United Nations Secretary General speaking. I want to give you more quotes. Pat Gelsinger is the Chief Executive Officer of Intel. Most of you know Intel, at least those who are in electronics and computers will know Intel. He came to India in March of 2022, met the Prime Minister, then met me, and he said that the next decade, I am highly optimistic about India because of the opportunities and because of its youth. Bob Sternfels is the CEO, Managing Director of a company called McKinsey, again a very famous name. He said, no, it's not the next decade that is India's decade, the next century is India's century. Michael Spence, for those who study economics, is a very, very serious name in the area of economics, is a Nobel laureate. And he said, the global economy is undergoing a regime change. India is the outstanding performer now. Jim O'Neill from the UK says, no other country has a chance of doing what India can do in the next 10 to 15 years. UAE Minister, Digital Minister, Al-Olama says, the future of technology will have India's fingerprint on everything and everywhere. And recently I was in a press conference with him in Dubai, and a foreign journalist stood up and asked me about digital data protection bill and said, why are you not following the European model? So I said, India will follow its own model because we are the largest presence on the global internet. And at that meeting, Al-Olama said, India has created its own path that the rest of the world is following. So for you, what is the most important thing? We are talking about the future, so we can all agree, I am grey-haired, your principals are all mix of grey and black hair. Pradeep ji is also dark-haired. But the future is going to be built by you. All of these dreams of economic power, economic growth, becoming the third largest and the second largest economy in the world will not be built by us, will not be built by the Prime Minister, it will be built by hundreds and thousands of students today who will become in the workforce, who will become entrepreneurs, who will start building companies, doing work in the future. So what are those things we are doing? We are creating opportunities for you. That is why you are the luckiest generation. You have the national education policy, as Pradeep said, skilling, and India as a semiconductor nation. Let me quickly touch on this and then we'll take some questions. I told you already, we are in a different position today than ever before. The world wants India as a trusted partner. The opportunities for India that are being created in India by our government range from space to India Stack to artificial intelligence to agri-tech, to med-tech, to technology in so many different areas. The TECHADE of opportunities, that is a decade of technology-linked opportunities, spans a whole spectrum of areas. And to students, I want to tell you one example that should surely inspire you on this Spurti Dina. Last year, we conducted a program for 1,000 students from government schools and taught them artificial intelligence programming. And 100 of the top students were picked for their program, for their application. And I want you to listen to this carefully. The winner of this program, that means the best artificial intelligence coding and program and application, was done by a 9th standard girl, not boy, girl. 9th standard, not university or college. From a government high school in a small village in Uttar Pradesh near Lalitpur, and her name is Nandini Kushwaha. That name will stick in my mind for the rest of my life. She was a daughter of a farmer. She is a daughter of a farmer, and she did this brilliant program which would take a picture of a crop, of a plant, and the program would say, what is the plant lacking? Water, urea, potassium, phosphorus. This girl did. So when I asked her, why did you do this? Why did you pick this application? She said, sir, my father is a farmer. I have seen him every year struggle to maintain his crop. And so when I learned artificial intelligence programming, I said I must do some application that will help a farmer and help a farmer improve his farming income. That is the power of innovation. And I must tell you very clearly, you are students studying in Bengaluru, that the next generation of champions, you will be competing from every small town in India. The days that only Bengaluru or only Hyderabad or only Chennai or only Delhi or Gurugram will create success stories is now becoming much more competitive, and Nandini Kushwaha could be as much a champion in the future as one of you is a champion. So I just want you to know the opportunities are very, very vast, and the opportunities are being joined by students from all over the country. Again, please, I want you to be aware of this. India is today leading the digital of the world. Digital is in turn helping India transform. And you, in this audience, all of you, some of you, most of you, will be leading digital India in the future. And how? What is Prime Minister Modi ji doing? He is empowering youth through skilling. All of you are doing degree programs. Very shortly, we will be announcing a scheme where all colleges can also start offering free of cost, government-funded skill programs that are coming from Government of India as well as Government of Karnataka. And over 6,000 certification programs have been created that range from future-ready, industry-ready skills in AI, robotics, drone, high-performance computing, electronics design, to number of other areas that deal with the non-digital economy. So the skilling is a world that I always tell every student that I meet, do your degree. Degree gives you knowledge, degree gives you practical experience in some degrees, but certainly the future landscape, future workforce requires skills. So at the same time as degree, also take on some skills, learn some skills. Priority areas for skilling, I'll just run through. We are launching PMKVY 4.0. The Prime Minister has given 8,800 crores of budget in this budget. In Karnataka alone, about 15 to 18 lakh students in college, outside college, those who are in the workforce who need reskilling and upskilling will get access to free skilling programs run by the Government of India, in addition to skilling programs run by the state. So like I said, 15 to 18 lakh youth of Karnataka will be skilled for industry-ready, future-ready opportunities over the next 3 years. Skills are certainly the way ahead, and I say this as free advice to you. It is my duty to give you this advice, that the workforce post-COVID has changed. The workforce requirements and opportunities have changed. When people say, where are the jobs? I can tell you jobs are being created daily, but they require skills that are absolutely digital or any other domain skills, but digital skills are certainly required. Like I said, the digital economy represents $1 trillion opportunity. 13 to 14 lakh new jobs are being created. 20 times demand growth for digital skills. And we are the third largest startup ecosystem for those who don't want to join jobs, but want to create jobs, become job givers and be entrepreneurs. So, in a nutshell, New India, you are the luckiest generation because there is so much of opportunity for you. For that, our mission is we want to create a strong economy with a strong leadership. We have traveled a big, long distance in the last 8 to 9 years. A strong leadership means strong economy, and strong economy means strong country. And I want to leave this thought with you, that all the effort that is being put in today is to build a new India for young India with absolutely reimagined ambitions for you, and because we are reimagining your ambitions, we are reimagining the ambitions for our country. This is my marketing pitch. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, do go to my website and leave your thoughts and connect with me and continue the engagement beyond this presentation. And I'll end by saying, Sare jahan se acha, Digital India hamara. Dhanyawad Guru. Namaskara. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, the youth here must have realized now it's indeed a win-win situation for all of you, and the right place to be here in India is today. So let's give a round of applause and thank the Honorable Minister for a highly inspiring, motivating, and a positive presentation. Thank you, sir. Iga, now it's your time. So Nimma Samaya. So only thing is, please do not give any long speeches. Directly come to the questions in the interest of time so that we can take more questions. First question will be asked by Ekta Dash. Where is Ekta? Can you just stand up, please? The mic will come to you.
Sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. My name is Ekta Dash, and I am from Electronics Department, Government SKS JTI. So my question is that you have been in technology for over 3 decades, and now you are in government. So can you, sir, please explain what's a double-engine government and how is it better than a single or a multiple-digit government?
Ekta, thank you for that question. First of all, let's be clear, an any-engine government is better than a zero-engine government, so that we can all agree on. A double-engine government is when the government of India works with the state government with a common goal of creating opportunities, creating economic opportunities, and creating economic development. And like in a train, if you hitch 2 engines, the momentum and the power that you get, and therefore the velocity that you get, and you are an electronics student, so you know a little bit of physics, that if you attach more horsepower to a train, you get more velocity and more acceleration. Similarly, if the state government and the central government work together, you get more velocity and acceleration for economic development in a state. So that is why a double-engine government is very, very important. And you will see in India today, and you will see even empirically data in the US, when the central government works well with the state government, economic growth, economic opportunities are much more robust and much more assured. You got it.
Shashidhara, yeah. Okay.
Hello, sir. My name is Shashidhar CK. I'm studying in UVC College. My question is, sir, if Pakistan asked request to India, if India Stock Solutions share with him, if yes, India will share it or not?
Share what?
India Stock Solutions like UPI, Aadhaar.
Pakistan. If Pakistan asks.
Request.
ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ್ ಈ ಟೆರರಿಸಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಲುಕ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ our Prime Minister is very clear that the India stack is available for any government, any country that wants to also digitalize its economy. And of course, to digitalize the economy for the benefit of its citizens. Whether Pakistan has a government that has ever thought of benefiting its citizens, that is a separate question, totally. So I will not say yes or no to that. If you can persuade Pakistan government to focus on their citizens and improve governance, we will be willing to help them. Good.
Kavya, stand up, please.
Good morning, sir. Sir, myself Kavya. I am from GSK SDA. What is your vision of Namma Bengaluru? What, according to you, are the impediments in fulfilling that vision?
Oh, this will be a 5-hour program, the 5-hour answer for this. But on a serious note, I think our vision, my vision, your vision is all the same vision. We want a city which is a modern city, but we want a city that is a modern city without forgetting our heritage, without forgetting our past, our culture and our tradition. Adondo. Where we want a city that is much more focused on development, creating modern infrastructure, benefits for our citizens, including the poor. For us, at least I can speak for the current government, they have only had 3 years opportunity. Adu 2 varsha they had to deal with COVID pandemic. But in the next 5 years, if you and all your families and your colleagues overwhelmingly give BJP a mandate in Bengaluru, we will certainly in the next 5 years transform Bengaluru into a city that we can all be proud of. This is a great city that Nadaprabhu Kempegowda founded, and we should work hard to create one of India's best cities in Bengaluru. That is my vision, and I hope that is your vision also.
Yeah. Next question is by Shraddha. Shraddha, where are you, Shraddha? Huge crowd, yeah, okay. Our friends are requested to sprint a little bit.
Good morning, sir. This is Shraddha from UVC studying ECE. So my question was, you have spoken about taking tech opportunities to small and new cities. Then what about big cities like Bengaluru? That was my question. So.
No. Bengaluru is, as it is today, technology in Bengaluru is growing rapidly. 300-acre Foxconn plant is coming. Large number. Yesterday I have inaugurated 2 companies that have set up their offices, Truecaller and Salesforce. Just 4 days ago, I inaugurated another R&D center of a company, semiconductor company called Renaissance. Bengaluru is going to continue to grow. But we also want Mysuru to grow. We also want Hubli Dharwad to grow. We also want all other cities in Karnataka to grow and join this digital revolution. So, although it is not to the exclusion of Bengaluru. Bengaluru will continue to see many opportunities. Like I said, Foxconn is a classic example. Because of that plant, electronics manufacturing will be huge number of opportunities that will be created in terms of jobs and investment. So this is not a binary, A or B. This is A and B.
Yeah. I would now request Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, where are you? Yeah, there. Yes.
Hi, sir. Here.
Vaishnavi.
Hi, sir. I am Vaishnavi from SKS JTI from Textile Technology. Yesterday, you have inaugurated two companies, Truthscaler and Salesforce, and you announced that Apple will be establishing their plant of 300 acres. So what is the next announcement we can expect from you today?
Today?
Yeah. What is the good news?
Like that every day I don't have a pocket full of good news. But ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಗುಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದು. I already said 15 lakh ಯುವಗಳಿಗೆ we will give modern high quality certification skilling programs free of cost to students of Karnataka. ಅದೊಂದು ತುಂಬಾ, that is also a very, very important announcement. Because those skilling programs will transform whatever opportunities you can get in the workforce and in terms of entrepreneurship and self-employment. So please consider humbly that that is today's good announcement.
Yes, Rushil. Rushil, yeah.
Good morning, sir. I am Roshil, pursuing my information science engineering from UVCE. My question is, India has such a robust banking system. Why are still Indian startups relying on foreign banks for it?
Very good question. You must have noticed about 7 days ago, US, there's a very big bank called Silicon Valley Bank, very famous bank. Silicon Valley ಮತ್ತು Silicon Valley Bank ಇದು ಎರಡು ತುಂಬ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದೆ. But it collapsed. Overnight, in 24 hours, the bank collapsed. And it is a huge bank. So, and in that bank, estimatedly, there are about 400 to 350 Indian startups who have kept money there because of their operations in USA. So we have worked with them. We have tried to help them as much as we can. And maybe that problem will be solved because of both the Indian government and the US government. But your question is a valid question, which I also asked them. Okay, why you have to go put money in Silicon Valley Bank? So one is, of course, there is this fascination for foreign bank. Oh, foreign bank is there, US bank. But today, every startup has realized that Indian banks are stronger, safer than even the most famous American bank. So what is happening is Indian startups now are saying, Dayavitu, please help us come to Indian banks back. And we are helping them. There is no doubt in my mind between 2014 and 2022, the Indian banking system, Indian financial sector has been rebuilt. It was in 2014, it was a total mess. Huge NPAs, crony lenders, adu gottallva, Neerav Shah, there is our own Vijayi Mallya, atara people who borrowed and ran off. So that was in 2014. Today we have a banking sector that is solid. NPAs are coming down. And so therefore, even compared to American banks, Indian banks are now superior. Our standard is there. So that is now more and more startups are saying, America la bidi, we will put our money in Indian banking system.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Kalyan. Yeah, Kalyan, go ahead.
Very good morning, sir. I am Kalyan Kumar from SKS JTI, and my question is, as you said that India is the second largest manufacturing mobile phones, So what can you say about the laptops, iPads, and other electronic products?
This is good questions. 100% good question. Our Prime Minister's vision for electronics is described in a phrase called broadening the electronics ecosystem and deepening the electronics ecosystem. Broadening alli, we are talking about mobile phone, then we will soon launch an IT hardware server, tablet, PLI, and also we are going to launch something called for wearables and hearables. We see mobile phones, IT servers, wearable hearables, and the components which include semiconductor as the core strategy for electronics in India. Our target is, like I said, we were 1 lakh crores in 2014. Our target is to reach 24 lakh crores by 2026. Currently, this year, 23 March, we will finish at 80, 24 lakh, about 7 lakh crores, 8 lakh crores. So 8 lakh crores we will triple in the next 4 years by expanding the categories of electronics, which includes, like I said, IT hardware, IT server, and tablets as well.
Yeah, the next question by Dikshit. Yeah, Dikshit. Yeah.
Hello everyone, good afternoon sir. I am Dikshit, I am a Silk Technology Engineer at SKSJTI. Artificial intelligence is known to be a game changer. What AI innovations is the government working upon for the improvement of government services, ease of business, etc.?
Okay, again a good question. Look, for those who are in technology, who like technology, who have understood technology, who are studying technology, or at least have a connection with technology, you already know, and I want to share with the others, that artificial intelligence is the next big game changer. About 10-15 years ago, the internet was the big game changer, and now the next big game changer is going to be artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence applications can be very diverse. It can be used in agriculture, as I told you the story about Nandini Kushwaha. It can be used in health. It can certainly be used in governance. And our Prime Minister has made it a vision of his, and he said this in 2018, that AI should be built in India and AI should be built for India. And so the India stack, which is Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, that is now being offered to other countries, will also have significant amount of artificial intelligence. And in the budget, you must have heard a policy that was announced called the National Data Governance Policy. And the budget also says 3 centers of excellence for AI. So I encourage UEC and the other colleges in Bengaluru to apply to become centers of excellence, because I certainly want one artificial intelligence center of excellence in Bengaluru, Namma Uru Bengaluru. So I encourage you to apply for that. But it is certainly one area that I tell students, please study it, please at least be skilled in it. If you don't want to do a master's degree, you don't want to do a bachelor's degree in AI, but do an engineering degree or a physics degree or even a arts or a language degree, but learn AI as a certification skilling program.
Yeah, Vyoma. Yeah, there.
On artificial intelligence, I'll just, Vyoma, 1 second. There is one challenge for educationists. Artificial intelligence with ChatGPT-4 is now showing that AI can answer test papers. So now students don't have to learn. They can take a test paper and they can answer using ChatGPT. So we have to be very careful about using ChatGPT in examination halls.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Vyoma from 3rd Sem EC from GSKSJTI. So we know that you have very busy schedule, but what do you like to do on your free time?
Nodi, I'll tell you one simple rule. when you are working with a Prime Minister like Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who never takes any free minute, we don't have such a thing as free time. Our mission is to work 24/7 to put India on this track of New India. Our mission, our Prime Minister's mission, is to create a better future for students of today. And so I don't want to disappoint you. I know it's very boring to say I work all the time, but I do exactly what my leader does, what my Prime Minister does. And I don't think of this as work. This is a mission. We are very passionate about it. We are very committed to building a better future for our country and better future for you.
Nice, sir. And Brunda Raj. Brunda.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Brunda Raj from ECE branch, Government SDA College. So my question is, we have seen some pictures of you with guitar. Do you like to play guitar and do you still find time play it, sir?
No, of course I play the guitar. I used to play the guitar. I certainly don't play the guitar now. To answer the same question your friend asked, no, right now I read papers and plans on what to do for the next 350 days, 360 days for the remaining term of our government. And so, no, to answer your question, I don't play the guitar anymore.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Atish Sagar. Atish Sagar? Yeah, there. Oh, last bench. He'll be having an interesting question, I think. So last benchers generally will pose interesting questions. Let's see.
Hello, sir. This is Atish from Government SDA. My question is about IoT. So, what is the security measure initiated by Government of India to ensure the security and privacy of IoT devices and their data?
Oh, very deep question. Good question. Look, it is absolutely true, and it is a fact that with 5G and with IoT, the complexity of the internet is going to dramatically increase. For many years, and when I started mobile in this country, the communication was between person to person, what we call P2P communication. With 5G and with IoT, there is machine to machine, machine to person, person to machine. So there are multiple levels of complexity on the internet that have been created by IoT and technologies like 5G and 6G. This certainly poses a challenge vis-a-vis data protection and personal privacy. You will see that we are now bringing a new legislation soon. That legislation attempts to answer this. But one thing that our government, our Prime Minister always says is that in the technology and digital space, laws have to constantly evolve because technology is constantly evolving. We want the laws to keep pace. So it is very possible that what we legislate today, let us say in 2023 for personal data protection, will continue to evolve through new rules every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, as we detect more and more challenges of personal data protection or indeed personal privacy violations. So good question. If you ever want to specialize in that area and want to join the government, please send me your resume. I'll be happy to have you join my team.
I would now ask Divya for her question. Divya.
Good morning, sir. My name is Divya from CS. How can semiconductor technology leverage to optimize industrial process in IoT era?
No, so again, very good question. As you know, the Prime Minister in December 2021 has said India should be a semiconductor nation. And we are soon going to have, for the first time since independence, building commercial fabs in India, which is the highest type of manufacturing ever in the world. Semiconductor fabs means the most complicated manufacturing units. And very soon we will see an announcement or announcements for fabs being set up in India. Now, one of the biggest devices that fabs will make, especially in the context, as your colleague earlier asked, is the proliferation of IoT devices, which is sensors and compute and logic built into a device. So I certainly see with 5G and then 6G in the future, IoT will be everywhere. And so therefore, these fabs will be, in a lot of ways, producing IoT-linked devices or IoT devices.
Yeah, last two questions. After Divya, Revati. Revati, yeah. Where are you, Revati? Yeah. This is the penultimate. Idadmele innondu question irutte.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Revati from Government SDA College. My question is related to semiconductor device. Sir, let me know what are the challenges arises when an entrepreneur seeks to create and deploy a semiconductor-based devices in market.
Again, a very good question. ಈ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಇಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನೋವೇಷನ್ ಇಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ semiconductor design is one of the most challenging. It takes the longest amount of time, it requires serious skills, and it is also an area where the risk of failure is very high. Yakendre, after 1 year of designing a chip, you may find that the chip is either not functioning as fast as you want it to, or there's a better chip out there. So semiconductor design is a very, very cutting edge area. The Narendra Modi ji has given a policy, he wants to put in effort that by 2023 end, in India we should have at least 100 companies, 100 startups that are doing semiconductor design. And 2 weeks ago, I was in Indian Institute of Science. Ali, I gave the first 3 semiconductor design companies that have been chosen by Government of India under a program called Future Design DLI. 3 startups, very, very impressive companies that are going to do cutting edge device design in the semiconductor space that will be relevant in our semicon ambition. So it is a very interesting area. I come from that background. It is a very satisfying area, but it is also very deep tech. It is very, very challenging. It requires skills which are very different from a normal IT skill. But it is certainly most satisfying. It is like, for example, I always say aviation and flying as a pilot is also exciting, but being an astronaut is even more exciting. So the difference between a normal tech startup and a semiconductor startup is the normal tech startups are exciting, they are flying, but the semiconductor startups are astronauts that are doing interplanetary travel.
The final question, Ayushman Razdan. Yeah.
So, Pranam sir, my name is Ayushman Razdan. So, in your presentation, you emphasized on entrepreneurship. So, my question is like, what are your prerequisites to start entrepreneurship for college students like us?
No, prerequisites, this is a very often asked question. There is no prerequisite as in like you need to be 5 foot so and so, you need to be X weight, you need to, all that is not required. But I think there needs to be a temperament that you want to build something on your own. Number 2, you should be hardworking, because entrepreneurship is not about reading up 2 books and saying I'll become an entrepreneur. You need to be very, very knowledgeable about the area that you're getting into, because like I said, I have gone to 42 colleges, and every college I deal with thousands of students who all are in the same, they all have the same dreams of being entrepreneurs. So it's a more competitive space today. But hard work, knowledge and skills, as I said, very important, and a personal temperament of not being afraid of failure. Because the reality of startups is a large percentage of startups will fail, will not succeed, or will not succeed tremendously. So I think these three things, attributes, are very important, but hard work and skills and knowledge are absolutely non-negotiable. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ask, you have a mic?
Good morning, sir. This is Chaitanya from UVC. Basically, I belong to the region where Karnataka is considered as a Kalyan Karnataka region. We are speaking about artificial intelligence, innovation, skill development. I'm totally glad for all of this. But I have one question. Before I do computation or something, there is one question like integration, differentiation kaliyako munche sankalana, vyavakalana, gunakara, bhagakara kalibeku anta. ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಬರೀ ನೋಡಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಸಂಕಲನ ವ್ಯವಕಲನ ಮಗ್ಗಿನೇ 5ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಗುವರೆಗೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ನೀಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಕೂರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಮ್ಮ. ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ 50 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಉಳಿಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ವೈ So I want IoT, artificial intelligence, I will do, but what about the youth who are going for cattle? ಯಾರು ದನ ಕಾಯಿಸು ಕುರು ಕಾಯಿಸೋ ಯೂತ್ಸಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಚ್ ರೂರಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ? ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಸೊ. So I think so you can answer my question with your wisdom of knowledge. Yes. I'm sorry for I could not.
No, that's fine. Thank you for. Thank you for energizing this samvada. No, look, I think what you are saying is absolutely right. That the access to skills should be across the board to every young Indian wherever they are. And I said to you that today I am engaging with students not just in Bengaluru, in remote parts of India, small colleges, students who are all wanting the same thing. And I'll give you one example. When I went to Jammu and Kashmir, no issues. When I went to Jammu and Kashmir, I went to a district called Badgam. There's a terrorism district there. And I had one meeting with a lot of students. And on the left-hand side corner, I saw a group of 5 girls. And they were all nudging each other. You speak, you speak, you speak. So I called them and I said, please tell me what is it. I thought 5 girls, Jammu and Kashmir, they will talk about terrorism, they will talk about safety. Illa. What they said to me is, sir, we are from a polytechnic. Polytechnically, there is mechanical engineering and civil engineering. Yake, we are not getting computer engineering, we are not getting programming skills, programs, atara. So what you are saying is absolutely right. Today, every young Indian wants to have access to best skills. That is why I said we have now launching a program where every college, every school will be allowed to deliver skilling free of cost. And the skill can be any one program from 5,800 programs. So if you want to do in Kalyan Karnataka, digital skilling, whatever, drones, only colleges will be allowed to have registration. Students can go register. They may be in the college, they may be outside the college, they may be doing part-time work, but they can go do skilling free of cost thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and Government of India. Ee tara on the vision ide. We want skilling and skills to be like har ghar jal, har ghar gas, har ghar electricity, ella maneyalli electricity, neeru, adalla same way every youth must have access to skills. This is our objective, this is our vision.
Thank you, sir. Before we close, I would request the Principal and Interim Director of UVC, Professor H.N. Ramesh, for words of thanks.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good afternoon to everybody. Honorable Minister of State for Entrepreneurship, Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji, and other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my dear students of UVC, SKSJIT and SJ Polytechnic. I think all of you will agree with me. Today it's a wonderful program of Young India and New India, and it is ably handled and interacted, addressed by none other than our Honorable Minister, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji. Let us give him a big round of applause for this wonderful presentation and interaction. Thank you very much, sir. I thank in absentia our Honorable Minister for Higher Education and Skill Development, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan ji. Always he will encourage this type of activities, and he is a great visionary of higher education. Let us thank him in his absentia. For this today's program's wonderful success, the architect behind this is none other than our young but senior IAS officer, Shri Pradeep P. He is the Higher Education Commissioner. Thank you very much, sir, for your very good encouragement and organizing this function. Again, the two people behind this and their team who worked very hard day and night. Say yesterday up to 11 o'clock also we had a phone call, morning 8:30 onwards. We are getting lot of phone calls and minute to minute program they have planned. Each and every minute and micro level activities they were planning. They are none other than Dr. Chandrasekhar of SKSJIT and our Joint Director of DTE and their team. They worked as a team. The DTE officials and also the SKSJIT, they have worked very hard. Thank you very much for your wonderful organizing the program. And also I thank the teachers of SJTI, UVC and SJ Polytechnic for their presence. And lastly but not the least, I thank all the students of UVC, SKSJTI and SJ Polytechnic for their interaction and patience listening to our Honorable Minister. Thanks to one and all. Thank you very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. I would request all of you to kindly rise for national anthem. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗೀತೆಗಾಗಿ the youth India will have to remember, and Desh Bhakti should always be an integral part.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की once more Bharat Mata ki. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your presence and this one. Dhanyavadagalu. Please head back to your destination safely and securely. Dhanyavadagalu. Namaskara. ಊಟದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತೆ ಬೇಡ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ youth will be worried what to do for lunch. So you can have lunch, enjoy the lunch and get back to your places. Thank you. Namaskara.